What's up, guys? So, recording the meeting is clearly stated in our bylaws. It's not allowed. To change something like that, I guess we would almost need a consent form at the door, and as you entrance, everyone sign it. But, obviously there's some clear benefits to keeping our 1,400 members in the dark that couldn't attend. But we'll save that for a later day. As far as our pension goes, our pension manager will be at the next meeting answering any of my questions, or if you guys have questions. He's supposed to tell us where we're at and projecting to tell us where we're headed. I think we got to take a look at some of these projections with a grain of salt. I know I'm not the expert, but these same experts, didn't project us from going from 80% funded down to 60% funded and, unperforming 25% over the last 10, 15 years. So let's take a hard look at it and see if it's even realistic, because, the 2% accrual rate with the 60,000 hours is, in my opinion, kind of how the fund got to where it is, and that 1% accrual rate, we might just now be seeing the effects that's happened. A lot of any changes to this fund, it takes decades to play out, and it's all speculation of, how it's going to play out. It's you lay out the facts and you take an educated guess, right? But so far, these educated guesses have been wrong. And in my opinion, I think we need to really change the incentives of the plan. As far as just having contributors getting zero accrual seems literally ludicrous. It sounds like a welfare fund, not a pension fund. So I think if it was set up something as like the accrual rate progresses as your hours and your years progress. So essentially your 20,000th hour is worth more than your 10,000 hour, maybe something like that. Every 5 years, your accrual percentage grows. That way it encourages members to stay loyal. It encourages hard work. It encourages, you get a guy that has 60,000 hours, maybe the accrual rate is great for him, and we give him great incentives to hey, maybe you want to stick around another 5 years, and it really changed the incentives of the plan. The previous plan, the incentive was to hit that 60 and out the door, and it sounds great. When I was an apprentice, I remember this guy, PJ, retiring on site. He was 51 years old. And, 10 years later, the guy's probably 61. He might be 65 now. I don't know. But he was in great shape. The guy could probably live to be 100, and that's great for him. I'm happy for him. And, if we change the incentives to keep members around longer, and it would just make sense, instead of penalizing them. We have a few members that could retire at any moment. Where's their incentive not to? Not only is a member that is eligible to retire staying on a contributor side, he's contributing 17 grand to the fund, but he's also saving the fund 45 grand by not retiring, So I really think we got to rearrange the incentives on the plan. But if you guys have any questions that you would like, if you can't attend the meeting and you would like me to ask the questions, you can message me. I'll be happy to ask them for you. Later, guys.